Welcome, everybody, to episode 3 of Getting Personal with Web3 Founders. I'm Jack, your host, and I'm excited to be here today with Clay, aka Captain Koala, co founder of Koala Klub. I have a series of questions, including some from the HBAR community, for you today. Are you ready to get personal, Clay?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Awesome. All right, so first up is who were you before Web3, before Koala Club? Who was Clay?
Yeah, so honestly, I was just a normal college student and I was going for physical therapy. But then kind of dove into like crypto, dabbled a little bit, but then I started like trying to day trade. That's when I met the other co-founder, Buck, aka Caleb. But yeah, he came actually to my work when I was working at a physical therapy place. And then we started, dabbling in Dogecoin and started day trading. But then we lost a lot of money, so we got out of it and kept doing college, and then all of a sudden we wanted to start like an NFT project and kind of changed my whole life. Dropped out of college and doing this stuff.
What were you studying at college?
I was studying exercise science, so I wanted to be a physical therapist at first.
Okay.
But then it was kind of switched just because I guess I didn't know really what I wanted to do. My dad's an occupational therapist, so kind of pushed me that way.
And is there anything from what you were studying that you're bringing into Web3, like transferable things that you were learning, or nothing at all? It's completely new.
Um, I think it's completely new, to be honest with you. I think the only thing would be bringing with like social skills, like from college and just interacting with people in the daily life. But as far as Web3, everything is like really new.
Nice. And I guess when you dropped out from maybe friends, family members, there was, what's going on here? What is he doing? So the next question is, how would you describe what you do now to a family member, or even like I don't know, your grandmother or someone outside of Web3?
Yeah, so I get this question a lot, and I usually say that I sell digital art and make digital art within the Web3, and they're usually like, I still don't even get it, and I'm like, man, I sell koalas, you know. But no, it's usually a funny thing, but then you really dive into it, and like people are like really intrigued, and they're like, oh wow, this is like I never knew this was a thing, so it's pretty cool.
So, and do you go further? Like, do you go past the art part and try to explain other dynamics of I don't know what goes on at Koala Club? How
Yeah,
far do you manage to get before
yeah.
you're
When
like
I
before they're like
it
that's too much?
depends. It depends who I'm talking to. If they're like really interested, I'm like I try to like dive into the utilities and like how it works, like holding and how it could be, into your actual daily life. Like a car registration could be your NFT. Like I try to show examples like that. But
Nice.
I mean, if it's someone like younger age, then I will try to dive into it, see what we have to offer. Like we have our own crypto, and they're like, whoa. Well, I'm like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Like these projects have different, utility coins and stuff. But yeah, it really depends who I'm talking
Yeah, nice. All right, and now a bit more personal. What does a morning routine look like for Captain Koala?
to. My morning routines are actually pretty bad, but yeah. So I work full time as a leasing agent right now. So usually I'll honestly just like get up and then usually go straight to breakfast. So I'll make like some eggs or I just grab a protein bar. Depends like how lazy I want to be, right before I get up. And then I just jump in the shower, throw some nice clothes on, and I'm out. Like honestly, a quick 20 minutes.
And you're straight to the job, straight to work.
Yeah, I drive an hour to work, so
All
I
right.
get up and go and like pretty quick, and I kind of wake up as I'm driving.
And how does that? It's a full-time job, I imagine.
Yeah, it's full
How
time.
how does how does that tie in with Koala Club? Like, how do you juggle those two things? Because I'm sure
Uh,
there's
I would say,
probably quite a few people out there that are in a similar position or looking to get into that position. So I think that's yeah. How do you do that?
yeah, I would say you definitely get burned out a lot. That's the one thing you just got to get used to. I'll be honest. It's really hard. So like before, actually, I was just focusing on Koala Club, And then I was like, you know what? I don't want to sell any crypto. Like, I'm ready to go on the grind. Let's actually get a job. And so then did full time. I've been doing that for about 6 months or so, I would say. And it's been a huge struggle, like, because I want to fit the gym in, you want to be healthy physically and mentally. So I'll drive an hour after work, and it'll be like I'll get home at like 7, let's say, go straight to the gym, 7:15. I do the gym like an hour and a half. So I'm out by like 9. And then I try to jump into like a meeting with Buck, or like we'll like work on things individually, whatever. And then it's like till 10 to 11, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go to bed, restart. So it's always on the go, I would say.
So I guess the weekends is a time that you have more time for Koala Club, or do you work
Yeah,
weekends as
I
well?
mean, it really depends. I do work Saturdays, like
Okay.
in a routine of that. So it's like interval, like every other Saturday. So we try to like fit in some stuff. And then it's like, you want to be a little social. You don't want to get burned out too much. You want to hang out with some friends or go out with family. So it's like fitting that in is like my weekend usually is like, oh, I'm gonna hang out with my family for an hour, and then I'm gonna go back to Koala Club or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. I imagine though that having that stable job and income gives you a bit of peace of mind when it comes to running an NFT project. Or how does that, was that one of the reasons you took on a job, so you had that stability?
Yeah, I mean, it's stability for sure, but the main reason is like if you actually want to stack and you actually want to have like a good portfolio, your best option is going to grind now and like do as much as you can. And then you're even like, if you can, live past, paycheck to paycheck, and you are able to save a little bit, you're getting your NFT trades, sales, whatever, plus, investing, and then you're just stacking up. You're not even taking anything out. So if you're here for the long term, it's a good option, I would say.
You can actually compound now.
Yeah, yeah. It feels good. Like you're building, something better than your 401k. Like
Exactly. Nice, nice. All right, now back to Koala Club. Like for you personally, why? Like why Koala Club? Why koalas? Why not giraffes? What? Why Koala Club? How did that come about for you?
Yeah, so that's definitely a question we get a lot as well. It really comes back to when Buck and I started talking, again when I was at my job, and we came up was like, hey, I actually was like, hey, let come back to crypto, because like we both got out of it, and I was dabbling in Access or VSES. I don't know if you've heard of them,
I
but they
think I
were
have.
like, yeah, they were one of the biggest rugs, man. But that's what I was like, yo, you got to jump into this. It's so big, and actually got us both back in, and then yeah, we've kind of figured out it was like rug from the beginning. But then we started diving in the HBAR community and meeting the people and stuff, and that's what kind of hooked the community at first. And
Mm,
then we're like, why don't we start one? Like everyone else is. It's kind of cool. Like huge passion for art, to be honest. Like I'm always painting and everything. It's so cool, and it's just like if you could, put those two things together, you could have an actual business that you could do for years. And
mm.
so then we were deciding, and I don't know, like at first it was just kind of throwing some stuff around. We're like, yo, let's do cat in the hat, or like, like a whole bunch of random things. But then we started like looking a deep dive into it. And like, I know Caleb's like super into like environmental, things and climate change and all that. And I'm like super into animals. So it's like, it had to be an animal for sure. But then we're like, the Australian like wildfires and everything, and it kind of just came together as like koalas.
All right. Did either of you have like family over there or any tie to Australia at all, or was it more the
I
story?
would say any like personal ties or anything. It was just more of like learning about that environmental and
Uh-huh.
stuff like that.
Nice, fascinating. All right. So now back to you. Shifting gears back to you a little bit. Tell me about the most inspiring and influential person in your life and how they impacted you.
Dang, that's a good one. Um, the most inspiring person in my life, I would have to say, is Eric Thomas. He's like a motivational speaker, but I listen to his stuff like every day when I'm, especially like I listen to motivational stuff when I'm at the gym. So I'll listen to it like the entire thing. But I don't know. I think he motivates me. But I also think like my superhero is technically me in 10 years. And that's like kind of something I think about too. But if I had to pick somebody, that would be Eric. And yeah, he just honestly inspired me every day. So like when I hear it, I'm like, oh man, I gotta go back to work on the grind tonight. Let me stay up an extra hour or whatever.
Nice, Eric Thomas. Take note. I can I can relate with the motivational stuff for working out. I do that quite a bit when I go for a run. It helps, huh? To
Yeah,
get you
it
through
does. It does.
it. All right, back to Koala Club. Which has been your biggest challenge at Koala Club on a personal level?
I would definitely say, um, like having a date, like a life, like an average life. I don't know, like like people want to like party and stuff, and then you're like, oh, I actually need to do a meeting tonight, or like I need to work on this. So I would say the biggest struggle is like having FOMO a little bit, because like I know people say don't waste your time on girls and FOMO and all this stuff, but it's like like what if you want a girlfriend, or like what if you want to go out to the bar with some friends, but I think that's a big struggle, is like telling your friends no when like you actually like got to work. But I enjoy working, It's just like there's a little part of me that's like, let's do this.
And are your friends understanding?
Sometimes like they don't really understand. Like a lot of my friends, besides Caleb, because he's the co-founder. So, besides him, the ones that aren't in Web3, they don't really understand. So they're like, "What are you doing, dude?" So, but it's like in my mind, I know what's right. So,
Yeah, that's the important part. Um, so okay, this one's an interesting one. Tell me one of the craziest things you've ever done.
yeah, that is interesting. I don't know, man. There's a lot.
All right, you can do a list if you wish.
Let's see here. It's hard, like being on spot too. But I don't know. I think one of the craziest things I've done, like it's like pretty dumb, right? Or what? What kind of we going?
Well, it could be anything. What you consider crazy, or someone else could consider crazy. I guess it's kind of relative as well. You may say something. For some person, it's normal. It's like, oh yeah, I've done that. Or but for someone else, it might be whoa.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess it's whatever pops, whatever comes to mind.
Okay, yeah, yeah. One thing that came to my mind, which is no judgment here, but so I was just out in the country driving. I have a Miata, and my friend, we have the top down, and my friend like grabs my steering wheel, and then like I get up from and I go sit on the trunk, and then I go sit back in the car and then start driving. That was like I would say that's a pretty crazy one, but
That's out
no,
in
I've
the
done like,
countryside.
huh?
Out in the countryside.
Yeah, definitely not
Yeah.
in like streets or something.
No, I mean we all do these crazy things. That was when you were a teenager, I imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Not too long
Yeah.
ago. But
All right. You'll have to DM me the rest of the list.
yeah, yeah.
um. So okay, now back to Koala Club. Where would you love to see Koala Club in 5 years?
That's a great question. I would definitely love to see us, you know, really, I would say really promoting our game. In 5 years, I would definitely love to see it on like PlayStation, Xbox, like the actual big places, Steam. And that was like a huge thing. Then I mean, I want to say like we would own a sanctuary, a koala sanctuary, but just like we've looked into that, and it's like it's wildly expensive and everything. So I would say maybe like working with um a lot, if not all, of the sanctuaries, and having like maybe a few koalas that we actually like are adopted. So like we kind of like have them, but they live over there, if that makes
Uh-huh.
sense. And just I would say a way, something that changes the world for sure. But I don't know what. It would just be like something that changes the world through NFTs.
Would you tie those koalas to NFTs in the collection, like as like
Oh yeah,
a
yeah. That's
Yeah.
something we talked to the sanctuary about, having a collection where they have their own name. I know that the sanctuary that we talked to was Lone Pine, Brisbane, Australia, but they have like it's kind of like a in real life collection is the best way I could describe this. But they have a ton of koalas, and then they have like themes within their like group. So like they would have a Harry Potter theme, so maybe like 10 of them are Harry Potter names. And then, like the other 10 are a different theme. So it's kind of cool in a group, and we're like, "Oh, we could easily make a collection out of this."
Yeah, could be fun. Eh? Could be fun.
Yeah, it would be fun, and it would be tied to their actual like names and stuff. So it would be like a real life, and then obviously like the money would go to individually each one. So
Nice. I imagine people like checking in, being able to log into a token gated live stream of their koala, like in their
yeah,
habitat or wherever
yeah,
they're
we
hanging
talked
out.
about it actually. Like they would have like private like videos that you could see them actually in their like little habitat and everything, and then they're nocturnal animals, so you would see them like at night vision and stuff too.
Wow. Yeah, fascinating animals, eh? Fascinating.
Oh yeah.
What's a fun fact or a couple of fun facts about koalas that you've learned since
I would
you've kind of
say
embarked on this journey?
yeah, definitely would be that koala's fingerprints are almost identical to human fingerprints. So that was like one thing that's really cool. Like if you actually look it up, it's really identical. And that the fact that they eat poison, but they have a tolerance to the poison. So if they eat too much, then they'll like get sick, but they can still eat it.
And it's kind of good for them, like that small amount, or not necessarily.
It's eucalyptus, but
Okay.
it's I would say I don't know if it's nutritional. I haven't looked that far into it.
Well, they just love it. Like they're hooked on it.
Yeah, yeah. They were eating and sleeping all day for real.
All right, nice. Um, so now we have a few fun questions from the community. I don't know if you saw the tweet that I put out yesterday. I like to collect a few. So I've got them noted down here. We'll start with one from Lifting Lions. What is your favorite your favorite place to travel to?
Okay. Yeah, I would say my favorite trip, like if I had a favorite place I'd travel to all the time, that would be insane. But would be I went to Puerto Rico and then took a cruise, so I did a few islands out there like St. Thomas and Barbados and stuff. So it was like it really opened my eye to the world. Honestly, I was like, yo, there's more than America out here, like for real.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to get out of here. But it really opened my eyes for sure, and seeing the different cultures was just like astonishing.
Was that like your first culture shock outside of the US?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, that was senior year of high school, and that was the first like culture change, and I was like, whoa, like it really opened my eye, and I was like, there's so many like cool like people and like things and all this stuff. And then I started like diving into the five blue zones of the world and stuff, and like going into that, and I was like, dude, I want to travel all these places.
It opens up a whole new world, huh? It's like
It
it's
really
something
does.
just shifts. I can relate. It's amazing. I think it's good for anyone, hey, to step outside of that. It's kind of like a bubble, I guess, or what we know as reality, and it just kind of within an instant it just kind of implodes and explodes, and everything
Yeah,
feels
no,
new.
I to touch on that actually, like Web3 really expanded my mind. Like when it comes to this stuff, like cultures and stuff, like I would say one of my best friends for sure is Comrade. He lives in the UK in London, and I was like, we talk like all the time and stuff, and it's like, whoa, like it's like so much different stuff. It's like it's crazy. And then we met up in NFT New York, and like it was just like it's just so wild, like that people are out there. You can meet anybody anywhere, like online, and like all the different cultures and the people that I've met is just like crazy. So it's like it's definitely an eye opener, and that's why I recommend getting into Web3. Making some
Yeah,
friends.
yeah. I mean, you do you have meetings with Caleb in person, or do you live far apart?
We actually live like 5 minutes away, but we actually meet online though.
You must do a meet up in person now and again. No?
Yeah, we see
Yeah.
each other at the gym, and we
All
usually
right.
go at the same time. So we'll see each other, kind of talk for a second. But yeah, we usually meet because we're like, "Yo, I'm tired, man. I'll see you on tonight." I was like, "Yeah."
Nice, because I mean, personally, I've met Manu and I've met Adrian in person. but there's other people that I work with that I've never met. I've been working with them for like months,
Oh
or
wow.
people that I've met in Web3 and I interact with. I have been for the last couple of years, and I still haven't met them. So yeah, I can relate with that as well. It's definitely an
Yeah, when
expansive
we met
experience.
our CSO Maul, when we met him in real life, it was crazy. Like, because we all flew. So me and Caleb flew to NFT New York, and Maul flew from Puerto Rico, and we met, and we're staying at the same hotel. It was the first time we ever met, and we looked at him, and we're like, "Yo, you're 5'7", dude." But yeah, it was super cool. Like, he's a great guy. But it was pretty wild. The first time ever meeting, we just see each other in the hotel.
Love it. All right. This one's from Joe. It's a when question. Are you ready for it?
Oh yeah.
When Koala Club?
Oh yeah, I know this is anticipated. One thing we're working on is we wanted the highest quality to come out. We know this is like really hardworking and like really serious when it comes to bring it to the Hedera community. It's not going to be like a Fiverr game or anything crazy. It's like actual a professional gaming studio, 6-figure game. So it's a lot and it's a lot of work. One thing that's like delayed us more than we thought was that it's actually hard to make a video game. So like we're coming up with the screens like when there you start at scratch and you're like, what does the main screen look like? And then we're like, oh, there's what does a setting screen look like? The combos, like the characters, like there's so much that you have to dive into, and that's what we've been working on a lot with the gaming studio. So that's been a main focus right now. But as for the collection, we don't want to have like hype the collection up and then you wait so long for the game to come out. And then it's like it kind of dies down. We want it to keep going. We're about to announce like everything for the Qualified Club in general, probably this week. We're aiming for Sunday, aiming. Um, but yeah, I'm still personally working on the collection. So I have like 2 more clans to do. We're building them one by one. So we're gonna have 5 clans, 256 characters, and personally getting built each one by hand. And it's a lot of work. Um, I would say, yeah, it's just like really wanting to put the best quality that we can get out, and yeah, and just go from there. To be honest, but I don't have a time frame when the collection would drop. The game we're aiming for, the end of this year, maybe Q1 2024, but we'll have a beta out by the end of the year. So that's the big thing.
And I guess the beta will, like those who mint the NFTs will get access to the beta. Is that the plan, or?
Yeah. So the people that mint the NFTs, yeah, they would have access. Our EVIPs would have access, and then we're currently working and partnering with projects right now, and their community would have beta access as well.
Awesome. Exciting times. Exciting times. Thanks for the question, Joe. Hopefully that answered your question. Um, Back to the koalas, actually, this and sanctuaries. There's a question here from Hederi Potter. Does Koala Club still have connections with the koala sanctuary in Australia? And will the next mint still send a few bars their way?
Okay, that's a great question. Yeah, so we're in talks with Lone Pine Sanctuary. It's the biggest and the world's largest one. It's the oldest one in Brisbane, Australia, and they actually. So we are talking to them for about a month or 2 months, to be honest. Working with Rob Allen, and if he's from the HBAR Foundation, and they actually turned us down, a little bit ago, and because they were working with somebody in Japan and kind of similar. But now we're trying to get the rest of the sanctuaries. We're going to work with all of them, and we're actually working on like somehow basically putting biodiversity credits into our game. So like
All right.
basically we'd still be donating. We actually have a donation wallet stacked right now of about, I don't know because the price is just pumped, but 3,000 USD is in our wallet currently, just sitting to donate. So we're gonna keep stacking that up. It's always gonna be something that we do donating wise, hoping to hit eventually one day $100,000. Like that would be sick. Right now we're at a little over $18,000.
Let's go. Amazing. And this one's from Phil. What's your favorite dessert to eat past 10 p.m.?
That's a good one. I accidentally spoiled this one in the Discord because I didn't realize like it was part of this. But
Oh yeah.
um, yeah, but it was yeah, pumpkin tree cream cheese rolls. Like it's like a little cake, and
All right.
I eat
Sweet.
that stuff like after 10.
So it's sweet pumpkin cream cheese, like a pumpkin cheesecake in a way.
Yeah, yeah, it's just like a
Yeah.
pumpkin cream cheesecake basically, and yeah, I'll smack on that at 1 a.m. Like it doesn't matter for real.
I think I could vibe with that. Sounds good. I'm
Oh yeah,
definitely into cheesecake and I'm definitely into pumpkin. So yeah,
yeah, it's really
I
good.
could give that one a go. This next one's from Omni, and I asked him where the question was coming from. And obviously, your PFP, Captain Koala, has a cigar. So, what's your favorite cigar? Do you smoke cigars?
I actually don't. I know that is like really weird because it's yeah, it's part of it. I think it looks dope. So that's why I kind of wanted it on my profile picture, like Captain Smoke a Cigar. But no, I really don't smoke. So yeah, I'm usually sober.
All right. So that Captain Koala, you made it customly. It's a custom one for yourself.
Yeah, it is a custom one. He's based off of Captain Obvious, so he's like the same suit and everything.
All right. Nice. So I guess every team member they have their own, do they?
Yeah, yeah.
Their
So
koala.
Maul, one thing is cool is he likes Darth Maul, so it's Darth Maul.
All right. And now, one thing I love to ask at the end is, is there one question you wish I'd asked you, and what would that be, and how would you have answered it?
That's a good question as well. Man, I don't know. That's a good question. I would say I don't know. I would say I wish you would have asked, about I guess like the donation side. I think that's a cool thing, like
Mm,
something that I guess a lot of projects do, and it's like how are you actually helping, Like I think that's a good
yep.
question. And I guess to answer that, yeah, we started donating like when we first started the project, to be honest, and it was first like kind of random, like so it would be as it came up. So like Kentucky, that's in the US, they had like a tornado right before Christmas, and we are like, hey, let's donate, and it felt good to kind of help them out. But one thing that actually stood out to me was not Koala Club, but HBots from Comrade actually had that project, and I know he donated. I don't know what country it was, to be honest, but he donated, and he actually put a like water faucet in the ground, and they took a picture of it, and all these kids were drinking water and
No, I
stuff, and
saw
it
that.
was
Yeah, that
yeah,
was
it is
amazing.
so touching. I was like,
Yeah,
that's NFTs, like that's what we do, So
beautiful. Nice. That's a beautiful note to finish on.
yeah,
I really appreciate your time here today, joining the show and opening up with us.
yeah,
It's
of
been a
course,
pleasure.
yeah, thank you.